It's been a fantastic week for the Blades. After securing 3 points against Watford, on Wednesday night they put Tottenham to the sword and in so doing booked a place in the last 8 of the FA Cup. But they weren't the only giant killers this week. Today's opponents, Blackburn, slayed a giant of their own on Tuesday as they overcame Leicester City. That means these two are now set for a double date this month. The cup ties for the future though. Today is all about the Championship and the promotion push to the Premier League. Sheffield United are at Ewood Park this lunchtime to face Blackburn Rovers. Kick-off is just under half an hour away. And for all of the match pass information and broadcasting regulations for today's game, go to the website sufc.co.uk. Very good afternoon. Welcome inside our studio here at Bramall Lane. The Blades are on the road at Ewood Park, looking for a few hours at least, potentially, to extend their advantage over third place Middlesbrough to 10 points. We have got plenty to cram in to the next half an hour before kick-off. We'll be hearing from the manager, Paul Heckingbottom, and we have an SUTV Live exclusive chat with Wes Fodringham following Wednesday night's Cup success. And joining me, as ever, for the ride, I'm delighted to welcome Brian Dean and Kevin Gage. Welcome along, fellas. Welcome. It's been a good week, hasn't it, Brian?
It's been fantastic. You know, it started last weekend and then the game in midweek was just a great week for the Blades.
Rolled back the years, didn't it, Gagey? A cup success here at Bramall Lane?
It was wonderful, wasn't it? Yeah, it was fantastic. And bring on Blackburn again in the quarterfinals.
Well, third time it would be this season, of course. We'll reflect a little bit on the opening clash this season between the two, way back at the start of the season. A successful time that was for Sheffield United. But let's first of all reflect on a wonderful 7 days, starting with Watford last Saturday here at the Lane. Sheffield United were on the back of 2 straight defeats. They needed a win, and they got it.
Another big game then in the Sky Bet Championship. In from Sema. Good header, and not far wide either. Now can Fleck profit here for United. It opened up for him temporarily. Still might come for Njai. Lovely from Njai until the finish. In from Luza in a really dangerous area, and it's loose. And somehow Wes Fodringham has got 2 hands on the ball. A big 45 minutes ahead, you'd think, for both sides here. Norwood strikes it through the wall. Strong play from McBurney and a lovely flick from Bogle. Njai comes for Bogle here. Bogle blocked by Gaspar. Njai running at Chowdhury. Good challenge. Breaks though for Ahmed Horic. Fleck. Ahmed Horic. First time! Wide for Osborne. Now it goes in towards Berger, and there is at the far stick and a chance and a goal. Drill the cross by Ahmed Horic, but the flag has been raised. Doyle with a strike, beaten away by Bachmann, and then Osborne saved by Bachmann again. McBurney. Berger points to where he wants it. Berger gets it. Sander Berger, brilliant. Saved by Bachmann. Here comes the corner. McBurney round the back, heads it into a dangerous area. It's kept out, is it? It's in, I think. It's over the line. McBurney has been congratulated. Not sure the final touch came off, but who cares? That stayed in play. And it's, flag was so late there. Little 1-2 with Billy Sharp. Bogle. Bachmann got something on it. In it goes into a crowded penalty area, palmed away by Fodringham. Still a chance here for Watford. Wonderful block. Chowdhury back in. There's a chance here. Another chance. And eventually Sheffield United have cleared it.
So the heart was beating just a little faster in the dying minutes of that game against Watford. But 3 points secured led us on to the FA Cup here on Wednesday night at Bramall Lane. Premier League Tottenham were the visitors, and the whole country got to witness a little bit of Njai magic.
It's a final game of this round of the FA Cup with the Blades kicking from right to left as we look at things. Corner near side with no Norwood who whips it in. There's going to be a header goalwards as well. Ahmed Horic up from the back.
We know it's going to be one of those kind of games where Sheffield United cede possession, but Richarlison might be in. Now Mora evades the lunge of Koulibaly, chips the ball back, stick off the post with Richarlison lurking, and a mistake here, and Sheffield United might be in. And the attempt is wide from Ismaila Koulibaly.
Well, we are underway at the start of the second half. Son in towards the near post, flicked in the middle. Fodringham with a brilliant take. Osborne deep into the area. Robinson's there, Basham's there. Well, they're getting each other's way a little bit. Osborne outside the centre circle, just to the right of it. He's going to take a short pass into Doyle, who stands it up into the area looking for Basham. It's on Ahmed Hodzic off the right-hand side. Offside flag goes up. Streaming forward here with Højbjerg into the middle. Richarlison will look to turn. Will he hit the corner flag? No.
They go long, up to Porro, brings the ball down, lovely close control. He will turn and shoot. The last 2 or 3 minutes have all been spent in Spurs territory as Iliman Ndiaye thought about the cross, thought better of it. Robinson hacked at his cross, it's scuffed, and now Ndiaye weaving his way in the penalty.
Yes!
Wow! Iliman Ndiaye with a moment of FA Cup magic. The World Cup star off the bench to bob and weave inside the penalty area and score a quite spectacular goal. Now Perisic takes on his man, in goes the box. Kane's downward header. Seconds away from an upset as Sheffield United lead Tottenham Hotspur by 1-0. The whistles ring around Bramall Lane.
I think the roar and looking at the reaction of some of those fans probably told you what everybody, or the vast majority of fans, should we say, inside the stadium thought of that result on Wednesday night. Kevin Gage, we were talking before we came on air today. I think we're both in complete agreement that going into the game on Wednesday night, it'd be nice if you won and got through to the last eight of the FA Cup, but the league is what matters. I think we both agreed as well that all went out the window come kick-off.
It certainly did. I can honestly say, hand on heart, before the game I wasn't too bothered whether we won or lost the game. I thought it would impact possibly on our league form. Now, as soon as that whistle went, I completely changed my tune. You know, I desperately wanted us to win the game, and as it went on and on and on, and we got more into the game, you know, I was just like one of the 30,000 Blades fans in here, just willing them on. It was just a remarkable tournament, and I now think, you know, our league form will remain consistent, and I think our cup form will give us added incentive in the league. I think it will spur us on and just give the whole club a lift.
We've seen pictures of Iliman Ndiaye, obviously the goal scorer there, Brian. Twinkle toes in the box. It reminds me of some of the goals that you described to us 20 years on from your career. So perhaps slightly different memories from actual events, but he is one of the best, isn't there?
That was a great goal. I think when you think about who the opposition were, you know, and you put it into that context, you know, the level of the opposition, you have to say that was the one bit of world class that came out from the game for me, and I just think it worked perfectly well the way how the team was set up. You know, Kevin's described how, you know, he wasn't bothered before the game, and I think sometimes when you're going for promotion to the Premier League, there's a point where it flips when you're in the cup competitions. So like the earlier rounds are like, you think to yourself, okay, well, if we get beaten, we can focus on the league. But I think now you know, this is a real opportunity to get to the semi-finals. So it does have that importance now, and it deserves to have the full attention of everybody down here, doesn't it?
And we also have a strong enough and a good enough squad to be able to cope.
Yeah.
Don't we? We don't have to keep playing, you know, the same 11, the same 12, the same 13 players all the time in the cup. You know, we proved against Tottenham we can make 6, 7, 8 changes, I think it was, wasn't it? And still go out and compete against the top 6, top 4 Premier League side.
I can't believe we didn't even get a flicker of a smile from Dino trying to compare him to Iliman Ndiaye. There it is, there it is. Let's talk a little bit about Watford as well, because it was an important result. Back-to-back defeats, that large gap had just closed down to 4 points to Middlesbrough. Results elsewhere went our way last weekend, but to get the win as we did, Brian, against Watford, just righted the ship a little bit.
I mean, that was a banana skin, wasn't it? You know, I mean, you could just see sort of like the way how Middlesbrough have been performing and with the momentum that they've had. You know, it was just closing in, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden, like, we're back at 7 points now. Win this game, it's 10 points. And their mindset changes then, because I don't care what anybody says, when you're in the battle like that as a player, you know, you're kind of relying on external factors to try and give you an extra, you know, bit of a boost type thing. And it works exactly the same way. You know, they'll be gutted if we get 3 points today.
It's an interesting debate, isn't it? It's one we've often had here in the studio, Gagey. Would you rather have the points on the board or the games in hand? Well, now that Sheffield United have got the points on the board, you want to keep turning that screw, tightening the pressure on the chasing back.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we can do it again this afternoon, can't we? We can go for this afternoon. In many ways, it's a must-win game for Blackburn. If they're harbouring any thoughts at all about catching us, you know, they have to beat us this afternoon. And looking at it from our perspective, yeah, if we can get a result before the others play, that's a big body blow to some of those other teams trying to catch us. They'll be looking at our result going, oh, Christ almighty, you know, Sheffield United are away here.
Well, to that end, let's have a look at the league table coming into today's game as relates to those in the top 6. Sheffield United there, 64 points. Burnley, pretty much away, aren't they? 12 points ahead of everyone else. But those playoff places really could go all the way down to West Brom in 11th. 3rd to 11th is tight. So that really does emphasise what you were just saying, Gage, that if the Blades get a win at Blackburn today, as much as we're talking about Burnley being away and clear, the rest of the pack are going to look at Sheffield United and thinking, well, double-digit lead, that's a lot to catch up now.
Yeah, of course. The gap looks far better than it did this time last week.
Yes, yeah,
we were all kind of panicking, weren't we? Well, some of us weren't. You know, some of us were fairly confident that we're good enough to, you know.
Are you the confident one? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I've been confident all season that we'll get top 2. Yeah, we're just a good side, aren't we? We've had a couple of slip-ups. We'll hold our hand up and say Middlesbrough probably deserved to win that game, you know, down here. We deserved to get something out of Millwall, and we deserved everything, the 3 points, everything we got against Watford, because we played really well. And we're not going to turn into a bad team overnight, and we didn't 2 weeks ago. And we'll just consistently pick up points through the rest of the season. And today's one of those games. I think we go to Blackburn, we put on a really good, solid, professional performance. The defence on Wednesday against Spurs was absolutely magnificent, and they've been slipping up just recently in the past couple of games, shipping a few goals. And I think we've got that mindset back now that they shall not pass, and we're giving nothing away, which is just what we need this afternoon.
And to that end, Brian, let's take a look at the Blades' form over the last 5 games. Back-to-back clean sheets stands out there as well. Tottenham aren't on there, but obviously Watford and Tottenham. We talked about righting the ship. There was a wobble. People did wonder if this was going to be the point where the Blades were going through a bad run, but you beat Watford and you beat Tottenham, and suddenly all's right again.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we were here, and I'm, you know, Kevin, obviously, I was a little bit more pessimistic, I suppose, when we're talking about are we going to hit the buffers. But the game midweek and last Saturday was just a reminder of how good the squad is, you know, because I looked at the game, I looked at the team, and I thought, where's so-and-so, and you know, to get a result like that against Tottenham, and like Kevin said, the defence, some of those tackles going in, it just reminded me of back in the day, and it also reminded me of teams coming from down south and not enjoying coming and playing a northern team. You know, you really felt that everybody was focused, switched on, and wanting the result. And it's amazing what a game like that can do to boost the players' self-esteem. You know, they're walking out now. We beaten Tottenham. You know, that'll give some of them a belief. You know, it's Blackburn today. Okay. You know, they'll be thinking, well, you know, we've just played against a top 6-7 team in the Premiership. We can do it against Blackburn. You know?
Well, let's take a look at the starting 11, because kick-off is only a little over a quarter of an hour away at Ewood Park. Paul Heckingbottom rang the changes for Tottenham. I think, without doing the players any disrespect, we can safely say it wasn't our strongest 11 that went out there and still beat Spurs on Wednesday night. The team that took to the field to start the game against Watford, there's only one change today from that starting 11. Anel Amahodic is suspended, having picked up his 10th booking of the season. Chris Basham comes in. You have been a long-time advocate of Bash, Gagey. Like-for-like replacement?
Just about, yeah. The Basham that we know, you know, when he's at the top of his game, which he was against Spurs the other night, when he's at the top of his game, he's a super defender and he charges forward and he makes those overlapping runs and he's fabulous to watch. Yeah, I'm a big fan, along with every other Sheffield United fan in the country. He's a Sheffield United legend, isn't he? I think one or two of those players sat on the bench will be a little bit disappointed they're not playing today because they performed so well midweek. But you can understand Hecky's a nice dilemma, really. I was going to call it a dilemma, but it's a nice problem
it's
to have.
It's what you want if you're the manager.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I think some of the players, let's call them squad players, I don't mean disrespectfully, but the likes of Doyle and McAtee and that, although they have featured in the first team, I think they have to understand about the bigger picture and, you know, we need our experienced players out there just at the moment and they will have a part to play, not only today, but in the rest of the season.
And Brian, to prove what Gage was saying there, Tommy Doyle's named man of the match against Spurs on Wednesday night. Yep. He's on the bench, but you have Fleck and Ollie Norwood anchoring the midfield. It looks a strong midfield in what's like to be a physical battle today.
That's right, and let's be honest, the manager would have taken all of this into account, you know, when he's picked the side and when he's picked the team. So yeah, it's, you know, like, it's back to business now. You know, that was the cup game is always a bonus for the fans, they'll tell you, you know, and it was a win or lose, you know, less at stake. But now we're really kind of trying to get some consistency. And don't get me wrong, you know, the players that we've just talked about, they're great impact players to be coming on in the second half. I mean, look at those for options, you know. So, I think he's played it exactly right in terms of the squad rotation. And I think that we're in a different mindset now to when we were playing, where you want to play every minute of every game. You understand now that it is essential to rotate your squad.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll come as no surprise that it's the usual formation for the Blades, with 3 at the back, 2 up front, and then, like I say, Ollie Norwood and John Fleck certainly give some grit to that midfield. Let's take a look then at Blackburn, the opponents this afternoon. We mentioned at the top of the show that they're coming into this game off the back of a good cup win away at Leicester. They've been on something of a good run of form, including that win in midweek. That's 4 straight wins. They'd had 6 straight draws before that. Perhaps surprising for those that are familiar with Blackburn, because they simply didn't have a draw prior to Christmas in any competition, Gagey.
Yeah, that was a weird stat, wasn't it? They played 20, won 10, lost 10. It was just weird. They were always going to have a few draws. Yeah, they were on a bit of a run of form. They were very, very poor against us down here at the Lane. Yeah. We've beaten comfortably. But they've found a little bit of form. They've got 1 or 2 decent players. Again, I'll make the point, I think we're a better team than them. So, you know, I'm not too concerned about plans of Blackburn at the moment.
Well, they make just the one change to the team that won 3-1 at Queen's Park Rangers last week. Harry Pickering comes into the starting lineup. Callum Britton is on the bench. We've picked out a number of players to watch from their team. I suppose the main one is Ben Brereton Diaz, coming back from injury. Brian, so he's only on the bench today. Yeah. 11 goals in all competitions, but only 1 in his last 15 outings for Blackburn.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I sometimes don't like to get carried away with stats. You know, if you're a goal scorer, you know, he's coming back from injury, like you said. So, you know, he'll be wanting to be out there. He'll be hungry. So I wouldn't take that for granted. You know, if he gets on the pitch, the first thing that's going to be on his mind is, well, we're getting towards the end of the season. You know, the club turned down a lot of money for me. I need to crack on.
And he's out of contract at the end of this season as well, so he does have plenty to play for, both personally and for the team. Of course, we are in the midst of a hectic run of fixtures for Sheffield United. Here's a reminder of what's to come. Next week, we're on the road at Reading, Tuesday rather, 8 p.m. kickoff, on air from 7 p.m. SUTV Live for that one. And then next Saturday, back here at Bramall Lane, Luton Town, the visitors, 3 p.m. kickoff. SUTV Live goes on air from 2, and then a week on Wednesday, the 15th of March, we are on the road again at the Stadium of Light against Sunderland. 8 p.m. start there. SUTV Live is on air from 7 p.m. Okay, let's take a look back then to the first meeting between the Blades and Blackburn Rovers this season. Blackburn arrived at the Lane as top of the table in the Championship, but the Blades put them to the sword.
We're underway once again. It's the Blades against Blackburn. Berger can turn here for United. Mahodic, great ball. John Fleck, real chance. McBurney. Norrington Davis on the outside of Britton. Good looking ball into the area. McBurney gets something on it. Oh, wonderful. Ollie Norwood for United. It's been coming, but a wonderful strike from the Blades midfielder. His first of the campaign, and United deservedly take the lead. Here's the goal scorer, here's the shoot, and he obliges. Cadra. Warrington Davis is going to put it into the penalty area. McBurney gets something on it. We are back underway here, and they're going for goal for Oliver Norwood. Can Cadra make something of it? He can. Come on. Surely on McBurney. Brilliant save by Kaminsky. Cadra doing the hard yards again. Berger to McBurney. Again denied. Quick throw into McBurney. Trying to roll his man. Can he keep it in play? Berger, and it's got it off Ndiaye. He's certainly going to claim that one. Iliman Ndiaye, second of the campaign. United have got that crucial second goal, and it's Iliman Ndiaye the substitute. This is great from Ndiaye. Still going Ndiaye. Iliman Ndiaye. That is simply sensational from Iliman Ndiaye. Fantastic solo run, terrific finish, and United lead by 3-0.
So a 3-0 win on the day for Sheffield United against Blackburn. That means they've won their last two back-to-back in the league against Rovers. You have to go all the way back to 1987 to find the last time the Blades won 3 league games on the spin against Rovers. Kevin Gage, does that happen today?
No. I must admit, I came in here thinking, yeah, I'd be happy with a draw this afternoon, because I think it's a must-win game for Blackburn, not so much for us. I think Blackburn are in a similar position than we were against Watford last week. They have to catch us. They have to get 3 points. And I think we're more than good enough to not just not get beat, but to actually take all 3 points ourselves. I think the whole club is just on a bit of a massive high at the moment. I think the players are all rested. The ones who didn't play certainly are, but even the ones that played 10, 20 minutes the other night, they're still fresh. I think we'll go out and we'll roll them over.
That's what we want to hear. So it will be the first time since 1987 we've beaten them in 3 straight league games. Gagey, thanks for your time. We're going to allow you to take your position in the commentary box. Now for an SUTV Live exclusive following Wednesday's cup win over Tottenham Hotspur. We caught up with goalkeeper Wes Fodringham, who believes that could be just the result that spurs Sheffield United on to more success this season.
It was brilliant, especially because I was able to give minutes to boys that hadn't been playing. I'm sure a lot of people didn't probably expect much from us, but we know that we've got a strong squad and that we're capable of competing at that level. But yeah, to get the win, it was fantastic, great feeling, a distraction from the league, a positive one, and yeah, another game for us to look forward to.
As a keeper in a defensive unit, how pleased are you to get a clean sheet against a very potent Tottenham attack?
Pleased, very pleased, but a lot of that was down to the defence. I thought they were magnificent, honestly. The blocks, the shape, everything. Any defending balls into the box, tackles, I thought to a mannered defensive unit was fantastic.
Back-to-back clean sheets, of course. How impressive is that response been following what happened against Middlesbrough and Millwall?
But good. I think the most positive thing is identifying where you're making mistakes, and we realised quickly that after those 2 games that's not us, that's not how we look, that's not a team that we used to be in, and we rectified that on a training pitch, and we've got the 2 positive games where we've got 2 clean sheets, and we look like we're back on track.
I think that's 13 overall in the Championship, 15 in all competitions, but I know you've just said there to the other media outlets, it's not something that you look at, is it, the clean sheet stats?
It's not something I count. I mean, I have a look now and again. It's hard not to when it's in the programme and stuff like that, but I think it's something that we pride ourselves on as a team. I think we always know we're going to be up there with the clean sheets, the way we defend and the quality that we've got. So, it's not something that we need to keep an eye on.
Blackburn next, the league, before the cup game, of course. So what can you expect from this game?
A difficult game. I think they're going to play slightly different to how they played earlier in the season. I think they've changed a couple of things, and they've got some positive results, and they're flying at the moment. But so are we. We're going to be positive. We expect a difficult game, like I say, but go in there expecting to get 3 points if we perform the way we can.
And Ewood Park is a difficult place to go, and we've experienced that firsthand. So how important is it that we keep this kind of response that we've had from the 2 defeats going and try and pick up another clean sheet and hopefully 3 points again?
Yeah, I mean, every game now to the end of the season is majorly important. This game's going to be no different. We know how the threats they carry on the counter-attack and stuff like that, and we've been exposed to that in the past. So I think it's about getting the setup right, starting the game strongly, and hopefully the quality shows through.
So Wes calls this one a difficult game. What about the manager, Paul Heckingbottom? We caught up with him yesterday to get his views on Blackburn Rovers.
Big game against a dangerous team. They've won almost as many games as us and Burnley in the league. You know, that's how good they can be. I think they've been looking for that consistency, which they seem to have found in the last few weeks. But nothing changes in terms of what we think of them. We think they're a dangerous side with some good players, so we know it's going to be a tough game.
Does it just show in the Championship what can happen when you get on a little roll and you start putting a few wins together? You can quickly move, can't you?
Yeah, listen, they were right up there at the start with us, and they dropped away, and everyone's talking about they've gone and finished, and now they find themselves fourth again. And I say all the time, so when I'm giving you the lines about the Championship or what it is, and you think I'm just playing things, I'm not. This is what this league does year after year. So you've got to be prepared for it. Teams can go on runs, they can find that form. The margins are so fine that you just need a couple of things to go your way and produce some big performance at the right time, and you can turn things.
And for yourselves, it'd be potentially the start of another run if you can keep it going. You know, you had the 2 frustrating results. You've got 2 wins in a row once again, and hopefully for yourselves, you can go on another run now. Yeah,
just the points. We're just fighting for the points. Like I said, we know it's going to be tough. We'll have to prepare properly. We've got that other Wednesday night, Saturday morning one, which I don't like. But as I say, we've done well today. We've managed to manage the game, win the game. I think probably from our point of view now, it's managing that emotional side of it as well from the huge result. And it is a huge result. I know it's a huge result but obviously my focus shifts now straight away to Blackburn. But I'm not so sure everyone else's can do that straight away. So we need to make sure over the next couple of days we prepare mentally as well as physically for the Blackburn game.
You are looking at live pictures from Ewood Park as the 2 teams take to the field. A reminder for all the broadcasting regulations surrounding today's game and the match pass information, just nip over to the club's website, sufc.co.uk. As we see the players take to the pitch at Ewood Park, Brian Dean. Kevin Gage wobbled to start with, talked himself into a Blades win. What do you think will happen?
Well, I was almost taking in too much of Kevin at the beginning. But I'm going to go for a narrow victory as well, 2-1.
2-1 win, says Brian Dean. That would be enough to see the Blades move 10 points clear of third place Middlesbrough. To see if they can indeed do that, we'll hand you over to the commentary team. In a moment you'll hear from Kevin Gage. But first of all, as always, it's Matt Young.
Thank you, Richard. A dress rehearsal then for the FA Cup quarter-final later this month. But I think it's the Championship that will be at the forefront of both these teams' thoughts as they look to boost their prospective promotion ambitions. A win in today's early kick-off could see United restore a 10-point lead on third for a few hours at least, whilst Rovers know 3 points today. That would still give them an outside chance of the top 2. Both enjoyed big Cup midweek victories, but the league remains the priority for Paul Heckingbottom's side as they seek a 3rd win in all competitions. And a great view there, Kevin Gage of the away end here at Ewood Park. Sheffield United backed by some vocal and vociferous support this afternoon.
Yeah, and everybody's on a high, aren't they, after Wednesday's fantastic result and